So welcome back to the Floriani Software Fundamentals video series on FTCU. My name is Mark Garetz and I'm a National Floriani educator. In this section we're going to be continuing with text and we're going to be exploring a brand new feature called Font Play. Font Play is a brand new feature that we just added, and it's fantastic for previewing what a font is going to look like in your design. And you get to Font Play by this icon right here, which is an F. And when you click it, you're going to get the Font Play wizard that opens up. And then everything we're going to do with Font Play happens in this window. Now, what Font Play does in a nutshell is if you select a font over here, like let's select Anna that we've been working with, it's going to show you a sentence, which is your standard, the Quick Brown Fox sentence, in what that font is going to look like. So you get a good idea of what it looks like. Now, this sentence is the default. If you would like to change it to something else, if you want to see all the main letters and some of the punctuation and numbers that are available, you can click this button right here and it will show you all of the characters. And lastly, we have a custom button here. And if you click the custom button, this brings up a little box where you can type something in. So for example, if I wanted to see what my name looked like in here, I could type that in, click OK, and it would preview what that looks like. And if I want to see this in 3D, I could check the 3D view box here and I'd see what it looks like in 3D. If I want to preview it in a different color, I can click this little color box right here and it's going to ask me to select a color palette. So let me go down to Floriani Poly, and these are my Floriani colors. So if I want to see what it looks like in this Mars red, I could say import and it would change the color to that Mars red. When I get ready to put this into my design, all I need to do right here is click import. I'll show you how that works, and it's going to bring it into the design in that color for me. Now let's go back to Font Play because I want to show you some of the other options that you have here. And I'm going to select, it remembers the last color that you selected, so we'll go ahead and leave it red. But you can go through here and you can select any font you want. So for example, if I want to look at what bamboo looks like, I can look at that, etc. And I can also use this little drop down here to change my font type. So if I want to see what all the block fonts look like, I can just see the block fonts here in this list. And this is the same drop down that we had over here in our properties box when we were working with fonts earlier. I can also, if I go back to all fonts here, I can also use this to preview all the true type fonts that are on my system. So if I want to see what this one here, Aspire, looks like, that's what that one looks like. And again, I can use letters, custom, whatever, and if I import that, it'll come into my file as stitches. Now what else I can do with this is I can print a page showing me what my font looks like. So let me go back to my embroidery fonts. Let me pick Anna, and let's click the print preview right here. And this will show us what it looks like. So this gives us a preview of what we have on the screen here. If I wanted to type in something custom, I would see that. If I want to see what all the characters are, let me just close this. I could go back to letters, and then I could do my preview again, and this would show me the main letters and some of the punctuation. Here I see all the available letters that I have and my recommended minimum and maximum heights, and then I could simply click here to print this. I can go to my print settings here. I can also do that over here in my dialog here. I could go to my print settings, or I could print it right from here, or I could go to my print settings, which will bring up my printer settings so I can change the printer, etc. And this is really, really useful if you wanted to create your own font sheets so you could print them out and flip through them and pick a font. But now that we have this Font Play feature, I'm not so sure how useful the printed pages are unless you like to work that way, because I would much prefer to just pull it up on my screen and be able to scroll through and see the different things. So I want to show you how this Font Play feature would work in the real world here. So I'm going to go back to my custom settings so I can put in the text that I want. And you'll notice that I still had my name in there, so it came back up. If you want to change what this says, you would want to click these three dots right here and bring up the text dialog box. Now, if you start this up for the very first time like we did and you click custom, it's going to automatically bring this up because it knows there's no text in here. Once you have text in here, then the only way to get back to it is to click the three dots like I just did. So let me put in something different. Let's put in Floriani software and click OK. And that will change what it says in here. And then the way I would use this, I'd say, well, this is what I know what I want to say. Let me look at it in 3D. Let me just, pick some different fonts and see what it looks like in various different fonts. Let's see what it looks like in Bamboo or Asgard, etc. So I could just scroll through here, Broadcast, for example, and just pick a font that I like. And then when I see something that I like, then what I would do is click the Import button and it would come into my design window. So a couple more things I want to tell you about Font Play before we are finished, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this because I already have some text that came in from Font Play on my screen. Spacing is set like it came in at a default of 3 here. If I set it back to 0 and click apply, then it looks a little more normal. And the point of this is that once you bring it in from Font Play, you still have all the text manipulation that we learned about in our previous sections on working with text. Now, one other thing, I'm going to go back to Font Play. I want to show you one other feature here. So let's pick a font. Let's pick Anna. And we'll see the quick brown fox here. And you'll notice that it's defaulting back to that red. And it's going to stay there until we change it to something else or we close down the software and restart it. So let me just show you what I wanted to show you about this, because if I click the Floriani palette here of polyester colors, I do have a find function here. So I can click this little question mark and I can, for example, if I wanted to do black and I know that's number 900, I could click find and it would automatically come up here and select black, and then I could say import and it would bring it up for me. If I wanted to find a color range, it works the same as it does when we looked at it down here and working with the color finds. So I could type in blue, for example, and I'd see blue spruce, for example, and I could click find, but then I could scroll around and find any of the other colors that I want in the palette. So that is the Font Play feature, and it's a very, very useful new addition to the software.